I'd like to call to order the July 17, 2023 Whitewater Township Trustee meeting. Pledge flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Pope? Here. Mr. Shively?
Here.
And Mr. King?
Here. Acceptance of the minutes. Did everybody have a chance to look at those?
I did. I read over them, and I did not catch any flaws, so I make a motion.
I'll second that. Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope?
Yay.
Mr. Shively?
Yay.
Mr. King?
Yay.
Acceptance of the invoices.
Yep, I went over them, also move.
I'll second.
Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope?
Yay.
Mr. Shively?
Yay.
Mr. King?
Yay.
Sheriff's report. Sheriff is not here.
Do not have one.
And he did not get one to us, so.
He didn't get us one. All right, something must be up. All right, we'll move on. The public presentations. I don't think we have any of them, right?
Nope.
None.
No public presentation. Moving on to township reports. Fire department. Evening, sir.
Evening, Chief.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Chief.
Our run totals for the month of June 2023, we had 108 EMS details with 91 patients and 63 transports and 53 fire details for 161 details for the month of June. Brings our year-to-date total up to 743 details. I will skip through that middle section unless you have any questions. Our staffing for the month of June, there were no station closures. Paramedic staffing was at 97%. With our paramedics, we did have two 12-hour shifts without any of our paramedics on the schedule. But as always, we are still utilizing WestJet to supplement our paramedic coverage. Some part-time employment, waiting on medical exam results for one applicant still. The holidays kind of set some things back. Plus, he had an issue with one of his tests that they're trying to redo. So I have received two other part-time applications, and we're waiting for them to complete the written test with the National Testing Network. I did check that out today. One of the applicants did pass the test, and I did notice that we had another applicant take the test that I was not aware of. So the system is working. People are seeing the Facebook post and going to the website and registering to take the test. So it is working, which is great, which is what we're looking for. The anticipated start date for the new full-time employees will be next week, July 24th. Still waiting on one physical to come back, but we're not expecting anything to be any issues or anything with that. So we do have them slated to starting next Monday, the week of next Monday on their respective unit days. So I met with the part-time union president and their union representative last week. We discussed some concerns. Mainly it was all about wages. Informed them the township will be addressing that in the very near future. They stated that they would send over some comparable wage documents and a memorandum of understanding to go ahead and implement any wage changes prior to the end of the contract. Their contract expires the end of August next year. But I haven't received anything yet, so still waiting on that. And plus, I am going to set up a meeting with the administrator and the fiscal officer in the upcoming weeks so we can start looking at the part-time wages to see where we can go with those. So BWC Safety Incentive Grant. We are currently eligible to apply for the SIG. This is the grant we received 4 years ago to purchase the power cots and loading systems for our two ambulances. This is a 3-to-1 matching grant, and I would like permission to move forward to apply for another power cot and loading grant or loading system with this grant for the third ambulance, which is basically our spare right now. It is slated to go up to be remounted, to start the remount project hopefully by the end of this year. Again, nothing's going to happen with the box, so putting this cot and loading system in early will not hinder anything. You know, actually, when we put that ambulance in service, it will have the power cot and loading system to help with the loading of the patients and stuff like that. So the total price of the cot and loading system with no installation costs is $62,000. And if my high school math is correct, I believe our contribution would be around $15,000 plus installation costs. So just looking for a yay or nay from the board if I can go ahead and move forward with that application process.
You don't need a motion for that, it's just a, yeah, I'm all for going ahead with that.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, since it's going to cost
Yeah,
us about
absolutely.
$15,000 or so before I did
Yeah.
that. The Hooven Station, the outside painting has been completed, and it definitely needed it. It looks really, really good. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, last year they announced that they were going to require some data to be collected. Just my opinion and the opinion of other chiefs that I've talked to, it's basically justification for paying for EMS billing, basically that we're spending the money properly and stuff like that. So failure to complete this would have resulted in a 10% loss of revenue in EMS billing from Medicare and Medicaid. Without boring everyone to death on with the details, the project has been completed. So I'd like to thank Captain Snyder for helping out with that project and gathering most of the data for that. So that was submitted, so we're good on that. And with that, regarding Captain Snyder, I have received her letter of resignation. She will be resigning at the end of July. Again, she's part-time. So we will move forward with looking at replacing that position or some other options. But she's had some medical issues over the last year, and with working full-time for the State Fire Marshal's office, just really doesn't have the time to put into the department any longer, and plus with her medical issues preventing her from doing some of the firefighting activities. So that's the reasoning for her resignation. So kind of knew it was coming. We talked several months ago. It was just a matter of when it was going to happen, and she came in and talked to me last week and gave me her letter. So that's all I have, unless you guys have any questions.
I do not.
I don't have anything.
I do not.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the Maintenance Department. Evening, Josh.
Anything, John?
I don't have a report at this time. There's not a whole lot to report on. Everything in the township seems to be running smoothly. I did find out today via email that our construction meeting for the bid packet and the grant that we received for paving the blacktop here will be held Wednesday with Peggy and I and CDBG. That's pretty much all I have, besides Peggy and I just been working on some things we wanted to get done this year during the summer months. Bigger items, smaller things, but that's pretty much where we're at.
And air conditioning's supposed to get fixed Wednesday.
And the air conditioner will be fixed Wednesday. Supposed to be fixed Wednesday.
Right.
Let me rephrase that.
You never know.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. Unless you guys have anything for me?
Thanks,
No?
Josh.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Josh.
Thank you.
Moving on to the community center. Attendance from 6:12 to 7:14. Euchre during the weekdays was 115. Euchre on Fridays was 220. Chair volleyball was 38. Bluegrass was 198. Country music was 41, for a total of 612. Rentals for July, shelter had 3, the center had 2. In August, the shelter has 2, the center has 1. Just remember just a reminder of the programs available at the center: chair volleyball, euchre, bluegrass, and country music. If you have any questions, call 367-6046 for more information. As always, we are looking for more ideas for new programs for the center. If anybody has any thoughts, please contact Carolyn at 367-6046. You guys have anything else?
I do not.
All right. Move on to committee reports. Regional Water and Sewer.
I'll just, let me start with, back in probably February, the Sewer and Water Board voted to increase our portion of the fee for your water and sewer service. People are just now starting to see that because for some reason, MSD billed it, by the time they got the information, they billed it for like 1 month, so it was like a 2% increase, and then it became the full 10% increase, and people were kind of confused about why it went up twice, but it really didn't. It was just a one-time change. The Cleese bills, they bill quarterly, so when the bill came out, the change was on those bills. That was to help cover some of the funding that we were short on to help make our payments. There are some areas that have never paid an assessment, and we're hoping that we don't have to go back and assess those areas, but that's an option should we need the funding to keep up with our payments. Again, as I mentioned last month, we received $5 million from the Ohio Builds Infrastructure Program, and that's a grant, not something that has to be paid back. That should help us in not having to charge as much in the way of assessments on State Route 128. So that's all good. And it was, we haven't sent anything to the county commissioners yet, but I do want to let them know that their investment in us, basically that $5 million could have been a loan through OWDA or somebody like that MSD and through the county would have paid back. So we leveraged the Recovery Act money that they gave us into saving them payments over the next 20 or 30 years. So I think we proved our worth with that one. So hopefully they'll remember that the next project that comes along.
Yeah, let's hope.
So, and it won't take 10 years to get done. So other than that, that's it.
Nothing new? You guys got a question? Oh, hey, you got a question?
Jim, what do you mean by go back and assess
If the sewers went in and there was no assessment to each property when they put the sewers in, you can always go back and assess those properties if you need the funding to maintain the sewers. Yes, it could be put on the property taxes. So, yeah, we actually, we had and I cannot remember the gentleman's name. Gentleman and a lady from Glendower came to the meeting to ask about the increase because they get theirs through MSD, and he indicated that he might be interested in joining the board. So I was hoping to hear back from him, but I'm going to trace him down. She's on the property owners board up there, and so she said nobody complained. They just wondered why it went up twice. Is why they came, but and they were unaware that the sewer district actually maintains that lift station in their subdivision. So.
Back to the possible assessment. So when the sewer went through and the property was had to pay an additional property tax and all that, then you're saying that there wasn't an actual assessment then that they have to pay more?
If you paid an assessment once, I'm not sure that you couldn't be charged again, but the sewer board has not discussed trying to assess somebody a second time. If you're in the part of Miami town that paid an assessment, a sewer availability fee, even if you didn't have a building, I think you might have a property that was under that. So you could buy that fee even if you didn't have a building. If you paid that once, I don't anticipate that the current board would ever come back and ask you to pay more.
But you're not positive.
I'm not positive if they even could. My guess is you can't be charged twice for the same thing, but without going and checking the Ohio Revised Code, I couldn't be sure. It's never been discussed, so I had no reason to look at it. So, and we're hoping to just avoid that altogether. So one of the interesting things that happened during our public meetings with people about easements, we had a gentleman who approached Don Smith, and I heard him ask this question. He said, "So, where do you live?" And Don said, "Well, I live on Morgan Road." He said, "So when are the sewers getting to you?" And Don said, "Oh, he said, I don't anticipate sewers are going to easily get to me for some time because I'm on the other side of the interstate." And he said, "So you're not getting sewers through this project?" And Don said, "No." And he said, "Then why are you doing it?" And Don said, "Well, we're thinking that, it's going to improve development and bring in good development, and it's going to clean up some systems that don't work well, and it's going to make a healthier place for kids to grow up and play, and it's going to make the environment better and protect the aquifer and protect the Great Miami River." And the guy said, "Yeah, but what are you getting out of it?" And Don said, "Well, I'm getting a better environment." And he said, "What about these other guys on the board?" And Don said, "None of them are getting sewers." The guy said, "Then I don't understand why you guys are doing this." So he just couldn't believe that there were people out there that were doing things to make things better that weren't gaining anything from it. I thought that was kind
For
of
some
funny.
reason, everybody thinks somebody's gaining something.
Yeah.
It probably happens a lot.
I'm sure it does, and
Believe it or not, everybody's not out for personal gain.
so I'm fairly sure it would be a huge assessment to get sewers to my place right now. So,
Yeah, you think?
And I'll never see them at my place.
so you'll see them before I would. So anyway, I just thought that was funny because, everybody thinks you're out to do something for yourself, and this is really a project that's going to be good for the township, and I think that makes it good for all of us.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
I mean, it makes your place a better place to live.
Well,
So,
if you
but
get development down 128,
yeah,
get more money,
ideally,
that's less taxes.
ideally, then
people
when we have a
Long
better tax base, and we get a better fire department, we get a better community center, we get a better playgrounds, and so so we all benefit from it. But he just couldn't believe that Don was doing it for nothing. So anyway, that's it for water and sewer.
All right, somebody got anything else for them? Economic development?
Yeah, just real quick. I do not own anything on economic development, sir. So I own nothing on State Route 128. So. Just Jim and I were just talking about getting back on this whole JED situation down at the 74-128 corridor, getting with Brenda. She's an attorney, so we can start getting back on this whole JED process. And so Jim and I will just talk through email, and either he can get a hold of her or I will, and get on this, especially with the cell horse getting pretty close down there, and try to get ahead of this project a little bit. So, and again, it's no benefit to anybody up here, it's all benefit to the township. So that's what the whole economic development's about, is benefiting the township. I wish I owned a chunk of that land down there, because that's looking pretty nice.
Be nice.
Probably gonna be worth something.
Yeah, amen. Other than that, you got anything you want to add on that, Jim?
No, other than when Guy's father and I were on the board and we worked on the Kroger project, I know a lot of people were upset, like, you're going to make that Gary Gulch guy a lot of money. It's like, you know what? That property was for sale for a long time. I could have bought it. I didn't have the guts to buy it. Good for Gary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
good for the township that Gary did something positive with it.
yeah, you're right.
Other than that, that's it. Anybody got any questions?
I have
on
nothing else on
economic
economic development.
Anybody got anything? All right,
It's coming.
that's good. It's good to see it keep moving forward. We Thrive,
We Thrive has nothing to report.
Solid Waste, I don't have anything at the time, more than what we had last time. West Chad,
West Jed, we met last week. Had it was 2 weeks ago, I believe. Just general business board meeting. We did discuss wages. We're going to do as we did here and compare wage structures between Crosby, Whitewater, West Jed, and we did discuss that, but that's ongoing discussion. So basically, that was all we had to talk about.
anything else?
I don't have any.
All right. Old business, there's nothing in old business.
I have no old business.
Moving right on to new business, approval of the 2024 tax budget.
I'll so move on that.
I'll second that.
Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope,
Yay.
Mr. Shively,
Yay.
Mr. King.
Yay. Just so everybody knows, we had a public hearing prior to this on that. So it's not, we're not discussing it. We've already had a hearing on it, just so everybody knows. So that's already been a hearing. It took place at 6:45.
No public comments? Nobody's got nothing? Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
I didn't get to ask to be on the agenda, but this is just something
You're
we've
okay.
talked
Fine.
about before. Update on the town hall. I'm slow on the draw for things, but I get it done eventually. But I'm running out of lifetime. I got to kick it up. We've got on our website about donations for the windows. I've got a portfolio together. Now I'm going to go out and start really pounding the pavement. So I've been working on it. A year or two ago, I asked you if, let me pass this out. Our cupola's falling down. So I had an architect draw up a new plan for the cupola, and it's the original cupola. And my thought was, this is July, and most people teachers are off. I looked up the Diamond Oaks Construction, Framing, and Finishing Technologies Department, and I have a name of a gentleman that runs it. Back when the Historical Society was funded or created, they went to Diamond Oaks and they made this the cupola in the picture for us. I don't know how they got to that design, but anyway, they did it as a project. So my quick question to you is, before I go ask this gentleman if he has any desire to do this as a project, because it's going to be a pretty simple one for their class, would you have any objection to that or any concerns if they do decide that they're interested in this? Or do you want to think about it for a while? But I was going to approach him to let him think about it while he's off these next couple of weeks, while I'm sure he's planning for his fall classes.
I don't have a problem as long as there's no like insurance or anything.
Yeah.
Like, would there be anything falling under that as far as?
Probably would be the school. if they're
School,
gonna
that's
take
what I
on
was
that
thinking,
project.
that they
I mean,
would
those are
have.
the things I would ask
Yeah.
that we would be concerned about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if,
that would be the only.
and it would have to be all up to code and all of
And-
that, which they,
And the
so we,
question I'd have, would they prefab it and then we'd have to have somebody put it up on the roof?
well,
or-
that's the thing. We don't know whether we should build it and then have a crane lift it up, or whether they should build it and we disassemble it and reassemble it. I mean, that's just things I would have
I
to
mean,
work
he would
out.
know the answers to that, I would
Yeah.
think. Those are the questions you need to ask him,
Yeah.
is how.
Because I don't know how they got it up there before, so, because I wasn't around then, so, that thing was pretty big, so I would think they would have built it up there. I don't know. But anyway, I was going to approach him and see if there was any interest.
And I just wanted to know if you had any, if you were against it, because I wouldn't want to do that if, and I don't even know if they would be interested, but I don't know what chicken or the egg business here.
I think it's a good starting point.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
See what they do.
that'll give us some idea if, you know. No, I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
and
Okay.
at least he could say, well,
I
you
appreciate you
know, we
doing
can't
it,
do it,
just-
but you're gonna have to do it like this, and the best way to do it would
Right.
probably be like this.
Yeah. Other than that, I have a name of another person that has a business, a carpentry business.
Okay.
So that would be my plan B. Okay, well, thank you.
No,
I'll
absolutely.
let you
Thank
know when
you.
I
I've
find
got
out.
an old calendar, and I don't know if you have any interest in it whatsoever, but it was a calendar that I guess they passed out, I think it was 1980 or something at Miami Town Days. It's actually, the calendar in it is not got nothing to do with Miami Town, but it's in the original package, like cardboard, and it says on it, you know, that it was given out at.
I think we might have one, but I'll take another one if you,
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody dropped it here,
You
you dropped
know-
it off to me, they were like, I said, I'll just take it down there and bring it down, because
So
it's kinda
many-
cool to see no matter what.
so many, you would not believe the people that have passed away, and when their children are cleaning out the house, we get a phone
Right.
call. Do you want, I have a sesquicentennial Miami Town plate. Do you want it back? We started out with one. I think I've got like 5 or 6 now.
That's cool.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Diane.
Thanks,
One other thing
Diane.
I forgot, I don't know, I guess it can come up under this, and maybe some other people have done some more investigating, but I've been finding out about the homeless house in Miami Town. I don't have all the information yet, but I've just been gathering some of it. And I'm going off of memory on some of it, but I'm gonna sit down with them and get it all, but it's actually, for men. It's a 6-month to 12-month. They're only like, the maximum they can stay there is 6 months. It's like a halfway house thing. They have to have a job. They provide them the rides to work. They provide them with some food. They have to pay. They have to pay to be there too, out of their pay. If they get in any kind of trouble or anything, you know, they're out. It seems like it's not as bad as it seemed when I first heard about it, I'm thinking we're gonna have a bunch of crackheads, you know, down there. And I think they're very selective on who it is, and it's hard to get in there. Trying to remember, I should have brought the paper with me, because I was jotting down some stuff. I'll have more by the next meeting, but I think it's like 12. I think it's 12 people can be there, the maximum at the time. It's actually the people that are kind of pushing behind it is the church down, the 128 church down there. Yeah.
I got an email from one of the ladies that's on the board there, because there was so much conversation around Miami Town that it was a place to rehab sexual offenders. Yeah, that's what we heard.
Yeah.
So I got a text, and I've been invited to their board meeting tomorrow night because they want to straighten everything out and get so I'm going to the meeting. So I don't know what.
What church is it?
Right across
Oh,
the
Whitewater
road.
Crossing?
Is it Whitewater? Because this is called Hope's Journey. And, well, here's the. Yeah, so I thought they were in Harrison, but then they left Harrison and came to Miami Town. So I'm going to ask them why that happened. There's just
But
questions that.
Whitewater Crossing is backing.
I don't
It's
know
kind of
who's.
the way they described to me, they're kind of like working with them. I don't know.
Yeah.
The girl in charge of the food pantry is the one in charge of giving this Hope House.
We need to talk at the podium.
Oh,
Sorry, I'll share it with you.
okay.
Michelle Allman is in charge of the food pantry at Restoration Church, and she is the one who provides the food for the Hope House.
Yeah.
It's not called the Homeless House, it's called the Hope House. But, yeah, she was put in charge of it by, I guess, the attorney, and the other guy that's up there with him.
Don
Probably who you were,
Myers.
yeah, Don Myers and his cohort.
And Sandy Brillmeyer is the one that reached out to me.
Brillmeyer is like the one kind of like, from what I've gathered from her, she's kind of the one like really heading the whole and it's all like, they're all working together. There is a meeting, they invited, I was gonna tell you that after me, that it's tomorrow night at the old skating rink. I cannot go, but I've been talking to her directly. Find
So
out,
is
but I
this,
can't.
is this place considered a business?
I
What's
mean,
that?
is it a charity? Is it a nonprofit? I mean, those are all questions.
Why is it like no sign, there was no information that this was even gonna happen until after it was done?
What's that, the
This-
house itself?
This house itself, yeah.
Like I said, that's all the further I got. I got the email, I got an email from her, I seen it today, I think it came over the weekend, and I talked to her briefly today, and, because I told her I wasn't gonna be able to make the meeting, but I would tell you guys if you wanted, we're welcome to go, if we wanna go, any of the trustees. But I'm trying to get more out of her, but that's all I had gotten so far. It was.
I mean, I don't think we've had any problems to date. I think one guy did get arrested and he was kicked out of the house.
Yeah. It seems like it's very, you know, from what she.
I see them walking a lot and they actually go down to the old school and play basketball.
I just can't imagine Sandy would get involved in something that wasn't like above board and
Yeah,
a good thing, but I don't know.
It's just if it's the
'cause
same
we just
organization,
can't find
yeah,
out
we can't
anything.
get any information. Or if it's the same organization that was removed from Bright.
no, it's definitely.
It is not the same?
It's not. I know that's not, because I know there's ongoing things from the Bright stuff still. I was talking to somebody else about that still. There's still some stuff going on that too.
Investigation.
Yeah, well, they're just like fighting it, and it's like,
I mean, Miami Town, we love it to grow and prosper, and,
we
you know,
work
we
hard to
get,
make
we
it
get as much
better.
bad news and bad things happening as we do good, so we're trying to keep it balanced.
yeah. Well, I'll know more by next, and I'm sure you guys all will too.
Well,
Well,
and
you're
I
gonna go.
think, I mean,
I don't know if
was
the
gonna
meeting's
invite them to
open.
the civic group meeting. If they want to be a part of all of us, then they can start.
I don't know if this is a meeting for everybody?
Yes.
Well,
Anybody can go?
Yes.
Tomorrow? Okay. She acted like it was, like they were inviting just certain.
Oh, you mean our meeting?
No,
No,
I'm talking
they're-
about the.
they're
I think-
She
board
just said it was
Her
a board
meeting-
meeting.
Yeah.
Because
I
I
think hers
said,
might be selective.
I said, if you're going to have your residents there, I'm not comfortable talking about this in front of them. And she said, no, it's a board meeting, so
Yeah,
I guess.
I'll give you the info if anybody, I just can't because the kids got some stuff tomorrow. Stacy's working at 12, so that's the only
Well,
reason.
at least they care enough to want to straighten it out with
Well, and
everybody,
like I
so
said,
that's good.
I cannot believe she would be involved in anything that's not straight up, it's not as bad as as everybody was saying. Because then all of a sudden, the rumors were going around that there was gonna be 3 or 4 of them, and I was hearing people coming, oh, there's gonna be more, there's gonna be a couple more people. I'm like, I've only heard of one. I never heard of no more, and I think it's just whirlwinding around, but well, I'll find out more, and you'll find out more too, so,
Thank you.
thanks.
And we do have some new business in Miami Town. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but an antique store is back. Linda Stapleton opened one. And the property across from Fagley's is now being developed. It's been excavated, and he's an electric company. He does electric work. It's not an electric company. It's going in there. So, and the restaurant is getting closer to opening.
It looks good.
So,
I was stopped in there the
Yeah.
other day, they were close.
so, was those the only 3 things? Pretty much think so, yeah. Yeah, that's the 3 businesses that are opening up soon.
Is Stapleton open yet?
Landis, she's open, yeah. She's open Wednesday through Saturday. Wednesday through Saturday? Yeah, from like 9 till 12 or something like that. It's just a 3 or 4 hour window for right now. But
Not that she doesn't have enough projects.
I know.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, we don't need to go into executive session. Any comments from the board?
I don't have any.
The only comment I have is I went to the Great Parks open house and information session over at the Whitewater Crossings Church about the blue water trails and river systems are promoting. And they are so graciously promoting 3 public access points on the Whitewater River and advertising it to everybody. One of which being Willow Park up in Harrison, and the other 2 being our 2 riverside parks on the Whitewater. And because of that, they are overflowing. So I don't know if there's anything we could do about it, but take a ride by there on a weekend and they're packed.
Really?
Yeah. Parked 2 and 3 deep, parked all over in the grass. I guess ideally that's what you want is activity, but the park is promoting this river access, but not putting forth any river access themselves, which is pretty discouraging in my opinion.
Well, and they bought another 200 some acres, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Whitewater?
Sure did.
Yeah, that's not on a waterway, that's over there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's on that hillside that they won't do nothing
Yeah,
with.
they own more property on the Whitewater River than anyone
Well,
in
they're the
Ohio.
largest- They say they're the largest property owner in Hamilton County now,
Yes,
too.
yes, and in Whitewater Township. And
They don't pay no property tax.
they offer us 0 and are promoting our river access sites that we have to battle the congestion and fix up the entrance because it's dangerous to pull in. I went in there yesterday at the at the boat ramp, and luckily my car is all-wheel drive, my wife's car. I don't think I'd have gotten out the way that hump is, and Josh has fixed it many, many times, and short of paving that, it's just.
Can we ask them to help out with that since they're promoting that?
They're promoting you, that they're working with you guys.
Yeah,
It's right on their big board.
yeah.
They ain't
I mean,
talking to us. That's what
I
I'm thinking.
just,
mean,
I
yeah,
just saw this.
I
We-
mean, when you guys think they would work with us to fix it right then?
You would think they,
They're working with you guys to develop this. They're using your
Yeah.
input and everything.
yeah, you would think they would have asked us before
They've
they.
never been at any of our meetings.
I'm talking.
First I've heard about it.
That's,
You-
I knew that meeting was going on over at.
Yeah, well, the information thing that they mailed out to everybody, if you look through it and you looked at the private sites, and they listed the private water access points too on their brochures. I don't know why you would advertise private places, but they did, and it's confusing to me. And they didn't.
To go to their
Oh,
meeting.
to go to their meet, yes, and I went to the informational thing, and there's only a couple of actual park administrative people there, and I spoke to the one and expressed my displeasure. The rest of the people, they were just there to promote, so it was not very productive.
Well, it'd be nice if they want to promote it, they could kick some of that money back and help fix a few of that.
Right, no, that's,
Maybe we could sell them those 2 lots and let them start maintaining them.
No, because they just get it and then it wouldn't pay no property taxes.
We don't either.
I know, but
And they're FEMA lots, so we can't ever collect property tax on them. So anyhow, I wanted to report that I went to that meeting and basically got discouraged, but that was the gist of it.
all right. Anybody got anything else? Ending on a negative note, going with that in my brain, thinking about that. All right,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope,
Yay.
Mr. Shively,
Yay.
Mr. King.
Yay.